Isabella?
Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Stop! Oh my god, that was really freaky and I'm still scared of the bug.
Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to The Letter. In the last episode, we continue at Zach at the church, and Father Norman has to be escorted away because he's calling Zach a demon, he's praying, and he's like hysterical. Zach goes home and he receives an invitation from Hannah to come to her housewarming party. After going to the parking meeting Kylie, Zach comes home to Ashton and Isabella waiting for him, and he tells them that he's now seeing a woman in his dreams. After the ghost pays Zach a visit, Zach tries to go to the mansion to try to tell Luke what is in his home, and Luke seems very angry and kind of slams the door in his face. Then we switch into Marianne's chapter. When we're at the penthouse to meet up with Luke and Hannah, we choose the other choice to wait for them instead of going and checking out the hallway. So when she sits down at the couch and she tries to turn on the TV, the remote won't work. So all of a sudden, she sees Lorraine behind her with "Help Me" written on the TV. Marianne has breakfast with Luke and Hannah, and we head over to the mansion to do the inspection. Instead of going to the first floor, we decided to check out the ground floor this time. We go into the parlor and Marianne tries to get into the music room, and we can hear music being played in there, and Luke ends up coming out and him and Marianne have a talk, and Luke kind of asks her advice on if she thinks maybe Hannah wants to go back to working again. After we're done talking with Luke, we continue to inspect the mansion. We go into the ballroom, we head into the kitchen, and we go into the wine cellar. And as soon as Marianne's walking into the wine cellar, she steps on the bottle and Lorianne appears before her again. Marianne notices a secret passage, at least the entrance to the secret passage, and she tries to find a way to open it, and Lorraine's just it could be an adventure and this and that, so it's kind of different. Wasn't expecting that. Lorraine says that she wants her and Marianne to be together again, and Marianne says, leave me alone. But then, Johannes shows up, and, he's saying that he's just, wanted to check out the wine cellar. So, Marianne's just, screaming at herself in the wine cellar. Johannes probably what the heck are you doing down here? It's the day of the housewarming party when Marianne goes into the wine cellar. Instead of going into the wine cellar to try to seek out Lorraine, in front of the mirror, we get a choice to either go into the passageway or stay in the wine cellar. So I chose to go in, and it ended up leading back to when Marianne gets locked in the cells down there. Then we're back in Rebecca's chapter, and I tried to get her to agree with Ashton as much as possible, but I made the mistake of still having a good relationship with Isabella, staying for the movie. Or when I was Isabella, I chose to stay at the movies, I think, and I was trying to keep my relationships good with the other characters, except just trying to agree with Rebecca this time, and trying to get on Rebecca's route for the relationship with Rebecca and Ashton, but it didn't lead out that way. So I was trying my best to have them get together, but yeah, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to try to think of a better strategy on, going down the different paths. Because, when we get into Ashton's chapter, he still ends up confessing to Isabella, but this time she rejected him because I made, Ashton and Isabella's relationship, kind of deteriorate a little bit. So, but he still ended up confessing, so I need to try to change my strategy, but I still got an achievement for not ending up with Isabella, so I guess it worked out in my favor. In Luke's chapter, when Hannah has a seizure, instead of going up and singing a lullaby to her, he ends up getting shit-faced because Hannah wants to take a break from him. Johannes and Luke have a drink, and he talks about Hannah leaving him and how he doesn't want her to leave, and just like being really goofy and babbling and stuff like that. He's so funny. And he shared a dark secret with us. He initially intended to kill Hannah for her money when he got married to her, but he ended up like really actually loving her. So he decided not to do that. He goes to bed in the next morning as an awful hangover, and that's the same time when Zachary stops by to try to warn him about the ghost in his house. And he kind of just slams the door in his face, and he goes and eats breakfast with Hannah, and he tries to put her in a good mood. So let's continue where we left off. The rain that has started sometime during the night doesn't help the mood. Okay, maybe it helps just a little. The strange sunny weather has been nice and all, but for it to return as it should be feels like a good sign of good things to come. Perhaps things will settle back to normal, and the crazy drama that has gone on lately will die down. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. And with how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it's given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. The rhythmic pitter-patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. With how it looks outside... Why is it repeating? With how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it's given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. It does let up within the quarter of an hour. However, a day beginning with a cloudburst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxbourne's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. I hope they did a damn good job of fixing this place because I'd rather not have to deal with leaky roofs. I don't like the idea that the realty did such a horrid patch job with the place. Hannah, technically, paid millions for this place. It better live up to the price the realty company sold it for. Roof problems aside, she's going to be a definite downer about this as well. She hates the rain. Then again, who actually does? What sane person would like it when 9 out of 10 days consist of nothing but dark, drab, and gray skies and piss water pouring from the heavens? And she was just starting to enjoy the sunlight. I will have to get up and about eventually. That is a given, but I'm not too keen on seeing or talking to Hannah before she leaves for the hospital. Or eventually, in a few days' time, this bloody house. Kylie won't like it if she comes here, only to find me in a bad mood. Few would dare rouse me from bed. Being able to keep their jobs is insensitive enough. I trust they realize that now is not a good time to force me into anything. Maybe I can just get an hour or two of sleep before Suarez drops his brat off the mansion steps. If only. But, as always, somebody has to be a buzzkill.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
What do you want?
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered? Truly? Not even the slightest bit worried?
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it? My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
Loath as I am to admit it, he is right. Still, it's more frustrating when he doesn't give me the time to concede his point.
I know you two aren't getting along.
Nosy bugger.
But you should at least see the madam off before we leave. Think of her as a business associate if you must. It would not do to part on bad terms.
It's far too early to deal with your nosiness.
That's none of his business. None of it. If he remembers his place, he'll drop it. I don't want to talk to Hannah. Not now, when I'm so high-strung and paranoid. This whole thing is a bloody mess with everything going off at once. I'm afraid that, with our troubles, I will misinterpret anything she might say or do. That'd just make the whole thing worse.
Are there any updates about the woman?
If I didn't know better, I'd say the kid is trying to make me feel guilty, though I don't know if the bitter taste in my mouth is that or something else entirely. I really don't have time to process what the emotion is as the brat opens her mouth again.
You should have gone with her to the hospital. Hospitals are scary, you know.
Exactly why I didn't go. I don't like hospitals, Kylie. That's all there is to it.
So you're not angry at Tia?
Why would I be angry at her? It isn't her fault she got sick.
I heard you and Tia are fighting. I heard that you might not be together anymore.
I have to stop her there. Sure, it's easy for people to jump to conclusions and presume that we might be fighting, no thanks to Rochelle. But it's not common knowledge that things have actually gone sour, and to put it in her terms, that we might not be together anymore.
Oh, well, where did you hear this from?
I heard it from a nice maid lady. But that's still no excuse. Not when she's sick. She needs someone to hold her hand and bring her soup and make her drink medicine.
Aww. I'm livid that one of my employees might gossip, and to a child, of all people. Who said such upsetting things to a child? But my anger dies down when Kylie starts to tear up. She holds it back in an effort to not seem childish, I assume. Though I am honestly confused as to why such news would upset her so.
Oh, no, look, Kylie, there's no need to cry.
I'm not going to cry.
Are you sure? You've got no reason to cry. Even if Hannah and I won't be together anymore, you can still visit me and I can still visit you.
That's not the problem. Why don't you and Tia love each other anymore?
I still love her, Munchkin, and I'd like to think your Tia still does too.
Isn't that the truth? I love her. I'm just a total shite at showing it. And a small part of me screams that I was not worthy to be her husband in the first place, no matter how hard I deny it. Perhaps in another time, another place, another me, I would have confessed that the whole world is nothing compared to her.
Well, why are you two fighting? You grown-ups are so stupid sometimes.
Why? Because I'm a prat, probably. Motioning for her to come closer, I wrap my arms around her and rub her back in an attempt to comfort the child. Only when I feel her tears soak into my jacket that I realize that there might be something else to her worries. I've heard Suarez is not getting along too well with his wife as of late because of how busy he is with work. Really, I was wholly tempted to just brush her question off and say that it's a grown-up thing. I could content myself in pretending that this isn't happening. But it seems like she needs to hear this. That just makes it all the more painful to try and explain this, because I have to explain it if not only for Kylie, but also for myself.
Sometimes people fall out of love, or they think they've fallen out of love and need time apart. It's not necessarily a bad thing. They might be angry at each other, or they might feel sad. They need time for themselves to think about each other, to know if there is still love. Maybe they'll be back together again. Or maybe it's better for both of them to move on.
At least he's being mature about it.
Instead of staying together and hurting each other, pretending they still love each other.
There is nothing final, but here we are, at a crossroads where the wrong step might end in heartbreak. Hannah thinks we need some time apart, but we aren't just done just yet.
But yes, grown-ups can be rather stupid.
You're still gonna be my friend, no matter what, Tio?
Of course, my life would be less exciting without a little brat like you running around and making a mess of it. And you better stay my friend, even when I get all old and wrinkly.
Kylie's shoulders shake in laughter as she pulls away and gives me a toothy grin.
You're already old! But don't worry. When you die, I'll burn you and put you in a jar so I can keep you forever! Just like they did with Abuelo!
What? My thoughts come to a grinding halt at her words, yet she goes on as if she hasn't said such an odd thing. Why, it almost seems like the tyke is looking forward to my funeral. As if there are no confused expression on my face, she pulls me back to our drawings, commenting on the state of my weird dog.
I think your puppy would look better in magenta.
There's a horrid feeling of envy. And though I have long accepted that I'm a jealous person by nature, I have never felt such a strong feeling of envy as I have now. They were happy with each other, these people, but Hannah and I. Envy turned into anger. Anger for something I could not have. But I have the feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much of anything anyway. None of the others have given me notice. I realize that this might not even be real. It dawns on me that these two are the people from the paintings, the ones all over the mansion. What did I miss? This is my fault, isn't it? Hannah's in danger because of me. Everybody I love always ends up hurt or worse. And even when I chose to let her go, she is no exception. Hannah's unbroken begging makes it all the much more painful because I still love Hannah. I really do. But will I really endanger myself for a woman who might not love me back anymore? Still, something in me dies a little when that woman laughs as if this is all some sick joke. Her smile taunts me, filling my head with laughter and rage, until I can barely think over the cacophony in my head. And the way the woman looks at me, it's as if she's watching, waiting for my next move.
Please, someone, anyone, help me.
This is crazy, and I don't know what I should do. I know for a fact that one shouldn't aggravate a hostage taker. There's no winning an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken. But I need to do something, right? I just have to. What am I doing? Why am I even hesitating? I wouldn't go so far to claim that I'm any sort of decent human being. I realize now too that I may not have been the best husband one could ask for, but she's still my wife. And even if she wasn't, she's still Hannah. Can I really live with myself if I just stood by idly while she was in danger? That doesn't change the fact that this is all fucking insane, of course. Having all these intruders is crazy. To think about going at this thing is crazy. I can hardly classify it as a person in my eyes. Perhaps a maggot that needs to be crushed under my shoe, just like the rest of this sorry lot, but a person? Hardly. But I cared none for any of it. They didn't matter. All that matters is that Hannah is in danger. But cold pours over me, freezes me in place once more when I try to make demands. I have to take deep breaths, grit my teeth, and steel my fist to even find the courage to speak up.
Let go of her! Don't hurt her! Whatever it is you want! Just don't you dare hurt her!
And if my voice isn't as firm as I'd like, it doesn't matter. I will beg and plead if I have to. On my knees, bend my fucking proud neck, and maybe even break it, just to make sure she's safe. I don't know what I would do if anything happened to Hannah. The cold stillness is gone from my body, and my very skin feels like it's on fire, and I have to shout, scream at her when Hannah continues to cry out in pain.
What do you want? Money? Is that it? I'll give you however much you want.
Luke, please make it stop. I want it to stop.
Just stop whatever it is you're doing to her. Can't you see she's hurting?
I cannot stand for this.
Let go of her! Now!
I say it with such ridiculous conviction, and of course she won't listen. Why would she? She has the upper hand here. There's no reason for her to do as I ask. But her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant girl from the ballroom, from the hallucination, vision, memories, whatever they were. A hush settles over the room as we listen.
She does not love you anymore. You are nothing to her.
Ugh.
And you wish to have him back.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
There are no second thoughts.
Be that as it may, I still love her. And I will make you rue the day you were born if you don't let her go.
Though her expression doesn't change, I have this most awful feeling that it wasn't the answer she was looking for. I can see how the woman's fingers tighten around Hannah's throat, hear the hitch in her breath, and I fear that I've made the worst decision in speaking out. I didn't think she would listen, yet she does. A hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her, and that sends us both sprawling at the foot of the stairs. With my back to the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hannah as I pull the both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her.
Are you alright, Hannah? Are you hurt?
It takes much too long for my liking before she speaks. All she's able to do for a moment is whimper in pain, a hand to her throat. And when she does manage to speak, her voice is far too faint, along with the hold she has on my arm. It's terrifying to see her like this, and to think I nearly lost her for good.
Luke, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. She just...
It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. This isn't your fault.
For a moment, we forget. But...
You deserve each other.
Hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah, and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear. But I grab her by the shoulders to keep her in place so she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too.
Look at me, Hannah. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. You understand? Just breathe.
I don't know what exactly in the bloody hell is going on, yet I can't find it in me to care, whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. This is not acceptable. For all I know, this is some dumb charade to get to me. All the times I have seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. There's nothing for me here, not anymore, nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hannah planning to leave me, Shokin likely taken by this woman, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave, I can...
Careful, Luke!
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again, from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat. What with recent events?
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down.
Hold on, what? Oh. Is your life all that matters to you?
What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem?
Sorry. I tried to do an English accent, but it probably wasn't that good.
What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hannah. That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people.
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose.
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right.
Oh, by the way. Oh, you're so funny.
Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. She merely stands before me afterwards without even batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off in this instant. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
That Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I can look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall, facing a man like me, the same way she has done so all those years ago, I can't help but think, am I not responsible for taking that part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Figures why she'd want to leave me.
And these people are only trying to help us.
Oh, of course, by barging into our home. Are you really going to trust them to save your life? These peasants who brought this pox upon us.
Keep talking about us like that and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
Rebecca, stop! All of you stop this!
To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She has always given me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She has never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. Until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mom would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong, and it's not a stare she's unused to showing.
Oh, I just thought, I mean, it's a straight thought, alright? Don't take my word for it.
No, it might be something. What about this place, Zach?
There's still a moment where he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
I was just thinking, maybe Ash is right for why he went here. This is where Bella found that thing, right? And then this.
It was just a hunch, Zach. We were not getting anywhere. But just because we went here doesn't mean we will find all the answers we need here. Hell, now we're stuck here.
Regardless, Steele pauses, allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her, and her face lights up with almost like hope, of all things, in this nightmare, hope. Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance? Or a confirmation? The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you... Becca, it's this place. Think about it.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
What? No? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Buttercup, marching, millions. It's going to take years getting all that money back.
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
How dare they suggest something like that? Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just from listening to them. To think this is all the solution they can come up with? I should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. It doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. I decide to, okay, let's burn the mansion this time. I'm going to regret this, I will. But with these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I've ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems with this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here. Why won't it end here? If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people. Run that estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it. Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I open one of the drawers in my study table, taking a bottle of liquor out for myself and passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
Luke, this isn't the time!
Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more than eager to set this whole place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. It doesn't exactly lead where I'm hoping it will. Although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs. Fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards, we also do the same thing we've done to the study. Door after door, in every room we pass, pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off from the many nooks I've stashed one. Jesus Christ, Luke, how many bottles do you got? Dang. There's no lack of it in here. The hard stuff, the shorts, the watered down kind, gifts from a distant relative, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Oh, and I want to see where we are on the branching tree. Where did that lead us in the end? Now it says I've completed 9% of Luke's chapter. I'm right on this path. Oh, hold on, let me go. I'm on this path now. So, this is from burning the letter, right? Ending 4, variant B. That means I still need to get variant A. How do I get that? Man, this is going to be a challenge.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Turns out it'll be useful now. Hold on, I want to look at this again. Ending 4. What ending is this one? Doesn't say. Where did Ashtons beg him to listen? What ending did I end up with, though? Head for the door. Oh, I still need to see what happens if I fail the QTE for Rebecca there. Ending 1. So there's 2 more endings or one other ending? How do I get this unlocked, though? There's 2 different endings here, maybe? I don't know. Wow, I'm gonna have to figure all this out. This is so hard. Ending 1, variant A for Marianne. To go in. This is I need to move on. Ending 1, variant B. Ending 1. Keep looking for Ash, but how do I unlock these, though? I have no idea. And then Hannah. Ending 3. And I still need to fail the QTE for that one, too. And Isabella, ending 1. There's another ending as well. Okay. Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out my sorrows, but for this, wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say it has also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place also becomes easier to navigate, as if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon, we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we previously torched, slowly filling the hall with the thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, that is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs, while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eyes is that expression on her face. Not the vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one? Forlorn is the only word I can think of to describe it.
No, please. Help me. Help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is that merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be. And I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The doors finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. A farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me when I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly, she disappears. Achievement unlocked, light it up. Not only do I have trespassers in my property, they're also arsonists. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason, nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm that has swept the countryside. And with it is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues. Soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxbourne's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Despite initial protests, Luke agreed with Isabella Santos. He began dousing the place with alcohol and setting it on fire. Sure enough, as flames slowly engulfed the place, it returned to its original state, freeing them. Outside, at the first light of dawn, the mansion burned to the ground before their eyes. It's over. Oh, that was a pretty different ending from just burning the letter. That was cool. Epilogue. Let's see what's different. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxbourne City after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Brow Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stroked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time, those will finally be revealed. Only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood. Of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls of help of anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls. After a period of brief separation, Hannah Wright returns to Luke Wright's side. Not without its fair share of challenges, of course, especially for Luke. But for the sake of their children, he tries, although the man still fears fatherhood, afraid of becoming like his father was to him. However, with a little help from Hannah, he eventually comes around, especially when the twins are born. He's still far from being a good father. He thinks he will never be. There are parts of him that will always remain unpleasant and will exasperate Hannah to no end. But even someone like him sees the joy in this, in having a family. For the first time in a long while, he admits he's content. They're happy. Okay. Unknown to many, Hannah Wright has also played a huge role in getting Zach's new studio up and running. But for all of the latter's efforts to try and thank the woman, she insists keeping her investment a secret as she merely wishes to help out, having been impressed by his skills in the field during the brief time they've worked together. A working relationship that continues to this day, as he is the only photographer she seeks at every single event she hosts, whether it's a simple social gathering or a company party. Beyond work, they also remain close friends to this day, marked by frequent visits to a studio or casual talks over lunch or dinner. A friendship that only seems to grow in time, especially after her children were born, who have become especially fond of the man. Both has never directly answered what the real case may be. But it is clear Hannah trusts the photographer enough to place her children in his care every time she and Luke Wright leave the city for business. Although her husband's relationship with Zach is still lukewarm at best, despite her hopes through the years, he has learned to wisely keep his opinions to himself, perhaps out of respect to his wife and her close friend. Although not seen as frequently with his friends recently due to work, when Ashton Frey finds the time, he sometimes helps out Rebecca with her research, mostly just to help her bring research materials. Despite Rebecca's old feelings for the man, they remain good friends to this day. She never brings it up again after the night of her confession. Once is enough. While she still cares for Ashton as a dear friend, it is clear she has already moved on from her childhood crush, finally accepting it as part of her life that has already gone by, much like everything that has changed between them. And with this acceptance comes a more selfless person who genuinely cares for her friends, beyond any selfish feelings she used to cling to. Looking back at it now, she recognizes that how things played out is certainly for the better, not only for others, but also for herself. Okay, between the lingering trauma and their measly attempts at normalcy, both Ashton and Isabella know that there are things that will never be the same. Gone is their friendly banter and rapport, as are their petty arguments and late teasing. After all that has been said and done, it's only sensible for things to fall apart the way it all did. It is inevitable, so to speak. Yet, in brief moments when their eyes meet and a last stolen glance is given, a shadow of it can still be seen in them. A quiet, steadfast thing that remains, a trace of what could have been had, things not crumbled. Neither holds on to it, of course, as much as they wish to. Both of them think it's already far too late. They can only walk away from it and leave nothing but a heavy regret in their wake. Alright, so that's the ending with Isabella and Ashton not together. Because we chose to break off with Luke, we were able to increase our relationship a little bit more with Zachary. So yeah, it was a little bit different. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can get Rebecca and Ashton together. Okay. Prologue. Isabella. Okay, so I'm gonna go into detail with my choices now. Okay, here we go again. All right. I don't think my relationship with Rebecca really makes a difference to get Rebecca and Ashton together. So I'm just gonna continue saying I eat other things too for this one.
Hey, I eat other things too.
Okay. All right, let me look at my branching tree. I eat other things too. Be brave and look up. We did that. Let's close our eyes and pray. I shut my eyes tight, muttering fervent prayers under my breath.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Prayers taught to me as a child by my mama and my papa slip out endlessly through my teeth. Because God, oh God, if you have to listen to any of my prayers, please listen to this one. And if God doesn't listen, at least I won't see a thing that kills me. A cold comfort. I wait. And I wait some more. But when nothing happens, I dare to take a peek. Only to find that ghost, that thing, whatever it is, gone. Relief washes over me as I shakily get up to my feet and back away towards the door. Wrenching it open, I slip out without a second thought and make a run for it, down the stairs and on to the hallway. I take a look back to make sure it isn't behind me. Any other person might have stopped, dismissed it as a trick of the light and an overactive imagination. But I am not taking any chances. I am not giving that thing another chance to catch me off guard. I don't think I'll ever feel safe until I get out of here. Whatever that is, every warning bell in my mind is telling me that it's going to jump out at any moment and get me while I'm still in this place.
I told them! I freaking told them! Oh man,
Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me and my shoe slips and I find myself falling until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious. This letter and those blood-soaked limbs in the attic. Should I even tell them?
Rose,
Okay, at least not without revealing everything that took place in the attic. Okay, so let's lie to him. I turn my eyes back to the passing view outside. Good, he didn't like that. Okay. Maybe if I remain quiet long enough, he'll get a hint?
Seriously, what happened?
you're already assuming something happened.
I'm not. It's what you said earlier, and that's why I'm asking.
It's nothing. Work's just been stressful. My boss has been in a bad mood lately over a lost sale. Preparing everything for the open house has been tiring. And then there's the tour. You've seen how big the place is.
I wish he'd just drop the subject and be done with it. It's not like he'll do something if I tell him. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. I wonder how long before we reach the movie house. Zach's been pretty excited about his movie. I'd hate to ruin that for him. But right now, I just want the day to be over.
Just so you know, people we interrogate often avoid our eyes when they're hiding something.
I'm not hiding anything!
I didn't say you were.
Then why are you still asking about it?
Your face is a lot more expressive than you think.
Can you please just drop it?
My voice comes out harsher than I've intended, and I immediately regret having taken that tone on him. As one would expect, Ash is taken aback but recovers quickly. An uncomfortable silence settles in the car, while I find myself wishing I hadn't snapped at him like that. Stupid, stupid, stupid Isabella. It's the first time in months you get to spend time with your friends, and you're already messing things up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
He responds with nothing more than a nod, and I take that as his way of dropping the topic. For now, if the way his jaw tightens is a sign of what he still thinks about the matter, I just hope I can give him a proper answer next time. Time passes quickly between us in this manner, and before I know it, we're already at the movie house. Maybe leaving is the better decision for all of us. Okay, let's go home. I know I'm being selfish, but if I stay, I'll only get in the way. I can't look Zach in the eye when my excuses come tumbling out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. Today's not a good day for a movie night out. I think I'll pass. Enjoy, you guys.
Isabella, wait!
I leave without another word, one step after another, as fast as my own 2 feet can take me away from them. Becca calls after me again. Zach and Ash do too, but their voices become lost in the hustle and bustle of the afternoon crowd. It's strange to walk home like this, to bump shoulders with people you don't know. I felt the same way years ago, fresh off the boat in a foreign land, with no one else to depend on. I won't deny that I was nervous. Now? Well, it's not every day that you get into an argument with your friends. Not every day that they won't believe you, even if you're telling the truth. It feels like a betrayal of sorts. It leaves you hollow. And in this faceless city, it's impossible not to feel alone after. The sun is already set by the time I reach the comfort of my own room. On my phone, there are 4 messages waiting to be read. 3 from Zach and a lone voicemail from Ash. Becca will probably drop by later to check on me, to say the same thing these messages likely contain. Yet I can't bring myself to open or listen to any of them, much less look forward to anyone's visit. So without taking another glance at it, I slide my phone back to my bag and flop down on the bed, allowing the heavy feeling in my chest to finally pull me into an uneasy sleep. Where did that leave us on the branching tree? Okay, so we unlock this, but... Okay, I'll unlock that when I do all the negative stuff. That was closing eyes and pray. Okay. Lie to him. Go home. I haven't did that choice yet. Okay, so right here. Perhaps tomorrow would be better. October 22nd, Saturday.
I thought for sure you're going to snub us for the better part of the week.
You know, I can't stay angry at you guys. I was upset. I still am. But, well, something did happen this morning. Let's order food first, okay?
Okay, oh bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it. Okay.
Okay, let me do that again.
The abrupt break in silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Frowning, I take a quick look at the clock on my bedside table. It's late. No one usually visits me around this hour, except maybe for...
Isabella? Are you in there?
This is so different. Her tone is tentative, unsure, testing whether I'll respond or not. Any other day, she'll just enter the room after one knock. Today, I think she's trying to be considerate. She knows I'm in here, and she can easily go inside since I've already given her a copy of my keys years ago, purely on her insistence, of course, after she saw the state of my room. In her own words, like a hurricane passed through the place. Ever since, she'll drop by from time to time, either to share whatever she's dished up or help me clean. She knocks again, louder this time, albeit the kind with less urgency. I take that as my cue to answer the door.
Hey. Hey there. Mind if I come in?
She holds out a paper bag to me. From inside, a savory aroma wafts into the air, making my stomach rumble rather loudly. Becca shoots me a knowing smile before she walks into my apartment like she owns the place.
I knew you missed dinner. I picked this up on my way home. Thought you'd like one too.
Thanks.
And why is it so dark in here? Were you sleeping when I knocked?
I move to turn on the lights myself before she stretches her hand out for the switch.
Not really. I was just thinking.
About? Did you rearrange things again? Where are the plates?
Stuff. The cupboard to your right, top shelf.
Only the clinking of silverware could be heard as a hush fills the room, a sound both familiar and awkward. I can easily answer her previous question to cover for the lack of talk, but from her hurried movements and hesitant tone, I know she'll bring it up sooner. The food is just a ruse to get me to open my mouth. I'm unsure if I should be happy or mad that I have someone like Becca who knows me so well. Minutes later, she's pushing a plate into my hands and settles on the sofa opposite my seat at the edge of the bed. She sticks her fork in her own dish, yet does not go beyond shoving the meat and peas around her plate. She would have scolded me by now if I did the same in front of her. Shrugging, I look down at my own food and...
It's pork? Are you sure you want to eat this?
Don't look at me like I'm feeding you poisonous stuff.
I know, but pork? You hate pork.
I don't hate it. I just don't like eating it on a regular basis. I can always burn it off with a few hours of jogging. Why are you being picky about this? You're the one who doesn't even gain weight no matter how much or whatever you eat.
I was just asking. You threw a fit when I used pork in your stovies that one time.
It wasn't a good day to eat that? And what about you? You don't seem to be having a good day either. This afternoon?
She opens the subject with the same finesse a bulldozer has. I might have laughed if we were talking about something else. I'm almost impressed. She used to complain about my own tendency to do that. In the end, Becca simply gives up at any pretense of eating and sets her own plate on the side table. She leans forward in her seat, clasping her hands together in her lap as her expression grows serious. It reminds me of that one time I got sent to the principal's office. I can neither recall when or why. The memory's vague now, considering the years since. But I remember squirming on my seat a lot, the agonizing weight, and the intense desire to leave the room.
Isabella, what happened?
I spear a piece of meat and plop it into my mouth. It's good, but the taste doesn't really register. A shame. Becca, as sharp as ever, is quick to pick up on this and pushes through her questions, forgoing her place in the couch to sit beside me. Not that the concern is unwelcome, quite the opposite actually. Except the expectation that we'd fall into the same cyclical argument is there.
About yesterday, during Zach's movie, things didn't end well, and I guess... No, let me rephrase that. I just want to say I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were pretty harsh.
Although I'm still upset about it, Becca seems sincere with her apology. Wow. Where did that leave me on the branching tree here? Ooh. This is the third one. So we're right here. We did these two already. So cool. All right. I was telling the truth?
I was telling the truth.
What is it that people often say? Words lose their meaning when you keep repeating them? And they do. My voice comes out as a whisper, an earnest plea, but its meaning rings hollow even to my own ears. How long are they going to keep asking me the same thing? How many times do I have to tell them what I've seen before they believe me?
Is this it?
Becca picks up the letter from the table, and for the first time since this exchange started, I look up from my food. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sets in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hands, hide it. But it's too late now, isn't it? It dawns on me now that maybe yesterday's argument was also my fault. Because more than wanting them to believe me, I'm also running away from the guilt. From the idea that I put my own friends in danger. And I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm a coward.
Sorry, I wasn't able to get a good look at it when Ash was holding it yesterday.
It isn't like it'll make a difference.
Where did you even find this?
The attic.
Attic where? The mansion? You know, this might have a historical significance.
I doubt it. It was on the floor when I saw it.
So a prank then?
It's not a prank! That's the same thing I was telling you yesterday.
Then tell me what happened. I can't understand where you're coming from if you keep giving me short-clipped answers. Please?
I fall silent. Becca's far from a person who'll believe in such things, yet...
You really want to hear it?
She nods. I tell her everything, from the moment I arrived at the mansion, my search for Rose, and what I saw. True to her words, she listens. Not in the same way a person hangs onto a storyteller's every word, as if it's the only truth in the world, but in a manner a person who has simply offered to lend an ear to someone who needs it does. No personal opinions, no long arguments whether it's the truth or not, just her undivided attention. And it's pleasant to be heard, that is.
Is it the same? This afternoon? When you... I've never heard you scream like that.
She was there.
She? Who is she? I'm missing a lot of things here, Belle.
Her! The ghost! She's just there, standing, calling for me.
On the streets? I don't...
On the window! Becca, it's her face when she looks at me. It's here, stuck in my head. I can't shake it off. There are voices, shadows asking for help. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants from me. Lord, I don't even know how to help myself right now.
My hands begin to shake. Balling them into fists is all I can do to keep them from moving. She may not be here, I may not be seeing her misshapen face smiling at me, but the dread remains. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be left alone with these haunting images again.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this has been bothering you like this.
Why are you apologizing?
Look at you. This isn't the Isabella I know. Any other day, you'd bounce back. You got what you wanted today. Your dad's gonna be okay. And yet here you are. Zach can tell. I'm sure Ash can as well. I'm probably the only one thinking of selfish reasons the day before.
Where exactly is this coming from, Becca?
I don't think she means to say that one out loud, judging by how quick her head snaps up at my question.
Certain things. It's nothing. Don't get worked up about it. Anyhow, I should go. Try not to think about it, all right? You need your rest, and I've got papers to check and lesson plans to review for this week's class.
Okay.
I'll be next door if you need me.
My hands move automatically to grab the back of her shirt before she can take a single step away. I have no idea what came over me. Her apartment's next door. I can easily bother her if I need something. She said so herself. However, my trembling hands refuse to budge. I don't want to be alone.
Do you want me to stay?
Can you? Just until I fall asleep?
What are you, 5?
Please. I really, absolutely don't want to be left alone right now. I tried to sleep earlier. Last night, too. I thought a shower would help today, but it's still in my head.
What am I going to do with you?
I smile.
You are such a big baby.
I picked I'm glad you're here.
Move over. I know how we'll fix this.
She motions for me to scoot, and I do so, though not without a scoff. Typical Becca, a teacher through and through, regardless of where she is. Then, without notice, she pulls my head to her lap. Aww, a new CG slumber party, achievement unlocked. Open up to Rebecca about what happened in the mansion. I freeze.
What are you doing?
Aww.
Singing you to sleep like the big baby you are. I may not be as good a singer as you are, but I can handle a few tunes.
Stop treating me like a kid. This is completely unnecessary.
I make an attempt to straighten up, but Becca's persistent. Gently, she pushes my head back down.
I'm kidding. Didn't you say this is how your mom used to lull you to sleep? I just thought you could use something familiar to you.
You're not my mom.
It may sound like a complaint, but we both know the statement has no ill will attached to it.
How are they back home? You said they called?
Good. From what Mama told me, EJ won a medal.
Who's EJ again?
The youngest. A bit chubby on the cheeks. I showed you a picture of him once. You said he looks a little like me, especially around the eyes.
She's quiet as I talk, interrupting only to ask a question if there's something she doesn't understand. I tell her of my 4 younger siblings, little troublemakers, all of them, and of my no-good elder brother who almost landed himself in jail a month ago, of my sister who had to move away recently to run from her ever-increasing debts. It's the same old story she heard countless of times. Yet, every time she asks, every time it's brought up, she listens tirelessly. Becca may not believe me about the ghost. She may have just been listening to help keep my fears at bay. But for now, I am content. Sleep comes easier tonight. Concerned for her friend, Rebecca Gills visited Isabella's apartment. The two had a heart-to-heart talk as the latter recounted everything that happened during the open house. At her request, Rebecca stayed for the night to watch over her. And for the first time in a long time, I dream of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. October 23rd, Sunday. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I allow myself to sleep in for the sake of sleeping in. The clock is flashing 9 a.m. when I open my eyes. Becca's already gone, likely to the library. She has a habit of keeping herself busy even on a weekend. She did leave a note on my fridge, reminding me to eat, along with a plate of breakfast on the counter. Really? She gets angry when I call her mom, but then she goes ahead and does things like this. I flop back lazily in my bed. From my window, I can hear the world beginning to stir. I should too. There are still papers to organize, documents to sign and hand over tomorrow. Yet, just staring at the gloomy white ceiling like this, waking up alone, it's easy to be filled with the irrational need to go back to sleep. But I've got calls to make, people to check on, and a good news to deliver. Blindly, I fumble for my phone on the nightstand and dial the number I've been itching to call since yesterday. It rings for a good while. I can already imagine Mama's startled face. She's probably cooking something for dinner right now. Knowing her, she'll turn on the stove first, like she's always reminded me, wash her hands and wipe them thoroughly in her apron before picking up the phone. Small, striking habits I didn't know I'll miss until I've stopped seeing them.
Hello? Santos residence?
Mama, how are you?
The usual pleasantries, questions about how they're doing, how's life going on back home, bits and pieces, although small, helps form a vague picture of things I've missed in my mind. EJ's excited voice resounds from the other end, and I smile to myself.
What about you? Are you eating well?
You asked that a few days ago, but yeah. And, Mama, I've got something to tell you.
Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you?
Oh gosh, that escalated very quickly.
What? No! Mama, stop making jokes like that.
This is a serious question, Grace. I've been looking at your face nook.
Your face nook. That's so funny. Face nook.
Who is this Ashton? Are you pregnant?
Who? Ash? No. Oh, good heavens. It isn't like that. We aren't like that. No one's pregnant, Mama.
Well, then stop stalling. You're making me nervous, Grace.
So very like Mama to jump to conclusions like that. And against my better judgment, I laugh. Light and surprisingly easier now that the heavy weight has lifted. Mama's clicking her tongue on the other end, impatient by the delay. I want to hug her.
Remember the house? We got a buyer yesterday. I'll be able to send a remittance soon.
Even with hundreds of miles separating us right now, the relief, her relief, is palpable. The tired lilt in her voice is still there, but it's fading. Perhaps not now, but maybe in the near future. When Papa's well and distance is not a problem.
The buyer gave us a bonus, too. I can send that early while we're waiting to finalize things, because that might take a few days. And then there's...
Grace, stop!
Yes, Mama?
It's okay. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to send everything.
Don't worry. I've got enough here. You taught me how to budget properly, didn't you?
Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Or for your friend? Rebecca, was it?
Rebecca will complain, Mama.
Then tell her it's from me, as thanks for taking care of my stubborn daughter.
You both sound so alike. But I will. Thanks, Mama.
The call goes longer than usual, and when we hang up, after goodbyes and I love yous have been said, the day appears brighter in my eyes. There are no half-truths and empty promises this time. Isabella Santos happily informed her family of a big remittance being sent soon after the Ermengarde Mansion's successful sale. Things were looking up for the Santos family. Light streams through my open windows, and the world is fully awake, and last vestige of sleep has faded from my eyes. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery, too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park?
I'm just curious.
October 24th, Monday. It was close. Hannah. October 26th, Wednesday.
Kylie likes you well enough. I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie. I was just tending to the garden, sweetie.
October 28th, Friday.
Be honest with me, Marianne.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say take a break again, because I want to see the other option with Zachary when we're waiting in the foyer with him. Okay, but I won't have to read it though, so that's great. Okay, right here. How should I respond? At least you can cook.
At least you can cook, allegedly. You still bring no proof.
This party ain't exactly a potluck, is it?
True, true. Perhaps you can invite me to one of your simple parties. I will bring the cake.
Yeah, why not? But with a cake that big like at your housewarming party, we'll be eating frosting for weeks. Maybe make it a little simpler and it's a deal.
Simple would be nice.
October 29th, Saturday. Okay, this time we're gonna fail the QCE. See what happens. The screaming stops and dies down. Oh my god, I'm so scared. What's gonna happen? I died. Game over. It's a moment of reprieve, and I want to believe that I'm finally safe. But it's quiet. Too quiet. Oh, god dang! Jeez. OMG. Zachary. October 25th, Tuesday.
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay. I've already made enough food for all of us.
October 27th, Thursday. Wonder what would happen if I say I'm a friend of Hannah. And sometimes the only way out of the game is to be honest. I'm a friend of Hannah.
Sorry, sir. I was just...
Oh, she liked that.
You see, I'm a friend of Hannah and...
A friend of Hannah?
Yes, sir.
His eyebrows shoot into his hairline at my answer. Although it swiftly disappears under his dismissive gesture and a chuckle at its heels. Okay, so where did that leave us on the branching tree? We're on this path now because we said we're a friend of Hannah's instead of saying I'm a photographer from Luxury Living. But how do I unlock this? A small frown spreads across my face before I can stop myself. What I said has nothing remotely funny in it, yet here he is, hugging an arm closer to himself in a weak attempt to keep his shoulders from shaking.
Did I mispronounce something wrong? Or?
No, not at all. You didn't... my wife, has never mentioned a friend like you. That's all. I suppose it's a good thing she's venturing out of the usual. Vultures and savages, all of them hiding under sheep's clothing.
I don't really get it, sir, but it's not really surprising she wouldn't talk about me. We just met yesterday during the shoot.
As soon as the statement is out, the amicable air melts away almost palpably, his eyebrows cease into a frown, and his posture stiffens. With how fast the atmosphere around us changes is merely the span of a few spoken words. I'm not quite sure what I can and can't say anymore. Like handling a ticking time bomb. Is this why Ashton wants us to stay away from them? If so, a part of me regrets not listening to him now.
Shoot. Who are you again?
Zachary Steele, sir. I was here yesterday from the magazine feature about your home.
Funny, she didn't mention making a friend in the gardens yesterday.
It was really just small chit-chat, sir. The usual. To keep things entertaining. The shoot did take the whole afternoon to finish.
Oh, I'm sure she was pleasantly entertained. She wouldn't be making friends with media types if she wasn't. No matter, she's her own woman. She can do what she wants so long as she doesn't do anything to ruin herself.
I'm sure Miss Wright is aware of that, sir.
That she is. But we aren't here to talk about her, are we? What is this about today? The city is a long way from here. On push bike, no less.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to talk to her.
Of course. Here for another headline, perhaps.
Not exactly, sir. I'm off work. This is for something else.
That's what they always say. The next thing you know, your face is in the front page of every conceivable scandal sheet going all the way to the ass end of Plymouth. You media types have such an insatiable taste for gossip. It's almost amazing.
There won't be any of that in an interior design magazine, sir. I can assure you that one.
Oh, you never know. Well-trained hounds have an uncanny way of sniffing out things no matter where you keep them. I do admire the passion, though. It takes a lot of energy for someone to leave bed this early, let alone knock at someone else's door at this hour. That aside, unfortunately, you're going to have to come back some other day.
This right after you introduced yourself as my friend in front of my husband. I do believe this isn't how friends address each other. Too formal, don't you think?
She gives the card back to me nevertheless, and with it, her mood fades into a more pensive one. An odd look settles on her face, yearning, a bit wistful as she looks back towards the shop display window.
Ooh, I think that one looks cute.
October 29th, Saturday.
It ain't too late. We could still fix this.
October 30th, Sunday. Where is she? Ah! God dang it. Ah. Marianne.
We're both drunk.
October 22nd, Saturday. October 24th, Monday. Okay, which floor should I go first? We're gonna check out the ground floor again because there was another path. Hold on, right here. Check the ground floor. Right? Yeah, this led us to the path where we can choose to... Where is it? We're just gonna keep going on the ground floor, yeah.
Shouldn't you be asking her this?
October 26th, Wednesday.
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey?
October 28th, Friday. What should I do? Okay, now we're gonna choose to stay. It seems so cliched, like a death trap from an old horror movie. It might very well be a dead end down here. Hopefully, not literally. Let me see where that led us on the branching tree. Move on. Okay, alright. Right here. Different ending. Okay, stay. We got a different ending from here. So we already did ending 1 variant B by choosing to move on. Then we did go in, ending 1 variant A. Now we're on stay, and this is going to lead to a different ending, I guess. Though I have no reason to fear for my life, it is hard to think I will be in any way safe if I continue in there. The thought makes a chill run down my spine. Yet nothing is as paralyzing as what I hear next. It's distinct and alien, and it's enough to make me look, nervous at what I might see there. Behind me, I only see...
Lorraine! You're here! I thought I would never see you again.
I can't even question how in God's name is this possible. Seeing her there fills me with such a strange feeling, relief. I had told myself I was ready to move on. Yet here I am, ready and willing to just embrace her back again with open arms. Her beautiful blonde hair, her soft lips with skin so fair and swaying hips. She laughs. She laughs, and the smile she sends my way as she walks over makes my chest feel tight. But her eyes are the most beautiful of all.
I'm so sorry. I must look like a right mess. It's been so long.
I'm here, Em. I'm here now, don't you worry. Come here.
It takes everything I have not to tear up at the sight of her. She reaches out and slips her fingers through mine before pulling me away from the tunnel and towards the mirror. Our reflection, a grown woman and a teenager barely past her prime, lends a bizarre light to this whole scene.
I can't imagine how you've been so alone all these years. I left you, Lorraine. I didn't mean to, but that's what I did. I don't even know if you can ever forgive me.
Don't cry. Doesn't suit your pretty face.
Dude, did I just get her killed, maybe?
Besides, I don't have to be alone anymore, do I? You're here for me, aren't you? You'll never leave me again, will you?
My mouth goes dry as she looks at me. That isn't the plan. This isn't closure. Yet her hand in mine makes me believe that this is real. She's real, and that's all that matters. Nothing else.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't dare leave you.
You swear you won't leave me?
I swear to God, I won't, Lorraine.
Though her smile remains, I can only describe her expression as sad. She walks around until she stands just behind me and wraps her arms around my waist. I nearly crumble with how I am in her arms once more, and when she puts her chin in the crook of my neck and I feel her hot breath on my neck, I'm filled with both joy and grief. The scent of chocolate, almonds, honey, and beer surround me. My first taste of love. The love that I denied. It had been so bittersweet.
God's not the only one you're making promises to, Marianne. Swear it to me. Or, even better, prove it to me.
I'll stay forever with you, Lorraine. I swear it to you. How do I even prove it to you?
Simple.
She presses something in my hand. A large glass shard from the wine bottle, cold and sharp.
You join me.
I messed up. Is she suggesting that I...
Die for me.
No!
Lorraine! That's... How can I?
How can I even do such a thing?
There's no need to be scared. I'll be here for you until the end, Marianne. Even if you hadn't done the same for me. But that's the only way I can forgive you. The only way we can be together again.
Achievement unlocked, together at last. What? I didn't know this was gonna get her killed. She guides my hand, raising the glass shard. My own hands are weak, as is my will, and I can only bare my neck to do with as she wishes. There is no reason, no self-preservation, as I mindlessly welcome my own death, as if it will lead me to my salvation. I feel nothing at first, other than the glass touching my skin like a caress, until a stinging sensation blooms from my neck. The pain sears and burns like nothing I felt before, and every breath intensifies the feeling. Even if I wanted to cry out and scream, I can only cough as the slick metallic taste coats my tongue. The most I can do beyond that is rasp out, calling for her name.
Lorraine.
Cold and weak, I grow worse by the second. I cough with each ragged breath, expelling the blood that I'm inhaling through my slit throat.
Shush now. It'll be over soon. Really soon.
Oh, there's a moment of doubt as I remember that the devil was once the most beautiful angel in heaven, that I shouldn't be deceived by such beauty. But in my final moments, all of that is soon forgotten. My mouth twitches. I can't muster even the smallest of smiles anymore. But I'll be with Lorraine. Oh. Achievement unlocked the beginning. You've unlocked a memory fragment. What's this? I never got one of these. So, wait, when a character dies, do I get one of these? Oh. Desperate to deal with her painful past, Marianne McCullough excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. Seeing her again, however, made her decide to join her dead friend instead. Ooh, that was such a... I didn't mean to make this choice, but I'm glad I get to find out about these memory fragments. Looks like they're fighting about something. Rebecca. Whoa, that was crazy. Whoa. Well, I fucked that up. But I'm still trying to get Rebecca and Ashton together this chapter, so... Marianne died, though. That's crazy. I didn't know that was gonna happen. But I did it. I can't take back what I did.
I'm sorry. Today's not a good day for a movie night out. I think I'll pass. Enjoy, you guys.
Isabella refuses to meet our eyes, Zachary's in particular, and though she smiles, it's hollow and embellied by her trembling hands and drooping shoulders. I wait for another outburst from her when she drags in a breath, anything easier to deal with than her short, wounded glances. Only it doesn't come. Instead, she stumbles back and merely walks off on us.
Isabella, wait!
Zachary's and Ashton's voices immediately follow mine. However, the swell of the afternoon crowd has already swallowed her, retreating back. Before our words can reach her, regardless if they do, I don't think she'll listen either. So exasperating. And here I was thinking earlier how admirable she can be when she acts like her age. All because of one stupid piece of prank she can't let go of. Despite the tense, awkward air she leaves, none of us speaks nor chases after her, even with my own frustration over the matter, even with Ashton's seeming indifference. Until Zachary's sharp exhale slices through the stiff atmosphere, and he voices out what we're likely too proud to admit, given our natures.
Really, guys?
She walked out on us, Zachary. Can you believe her?
Yes, I saw. But that ain't the point here. You could have at least humored her. Toned down on the teasing for a bit.
He sends Ashton a pointed look at the last one. For a moment, the latter appears about to say something in his defense, but soon drops the idea altogether. He swiftly averts his gaze with a small frown, his hand going to rub the back of his neck in an awkward gesture of comfort for himself. He knows Zachary's right, in more ways than one, and this is the closest we can get to him admitting he's in the wrong, but...
You can't just tolerate that. If this is her idea of a joke, I fail to see what's so funny about it. She went overboard, Zachary. And then she goes home all upset, like we're the ones at fault here?
Cut her some slack, please. We're all aware how she felt about the mansion in the first place, yeah?
You don't really believe what's written on that paper, do you?
No, but come on, Ash. You're the detective here. You must have noticed something we didn't.
Hey, Zach, keyword detective. Police? Dealing with supernatural shit isn't in our training manual, if that's what you're trying to get at.
I ain't. All I'm trying to say is, we all have our bad days. Give her the benefit of the doubt, okay?
She was behaving like a child, Zachary.
Ain't we all? Look, let's just hear her out next time, aight? Talk about it properly, preferably without anyone blowing a fuse. She won't be making a big deal out of this if she's in a better mood in the first place. Something else must have ticked her off at work. Just snowballed from there.
Probably not something.
A shadow passes over Ashton's eyes, his eyebrows furrowing in deep thought, but he tucks it all away before Zachary notices or I can ask about it. Catching that look on him, however brief as it is, leaves me unsettled for some reason. It's something I'm not used to seeing in him.
Someone, though.
Oh, so you did do something.
What? No! Why does it have to be me?
You tell me. You used to be so friendly with each other. Now, every time you're in the same room, all you two seem to do is ruffle each other's feathers. What exactly happened, Ash?
Nothing.
All right, and you're a much better cook than Sis.
I didn't do anything, really. You might be right, though. Something must have happened during the open house. There was a crowd, you know? It could have easily been one of their guests. Anyway, we should stop wasting time here. What's done is done. Let's just head inside. The movie's going to start soon.
Ashton doesn't even wait as he shuffles inside, leaving Zachary and I staring after him. A diversion, if I've ever seen one. Frankly, I don't know what to make of that. Moments like this often blur the lines between those he prefers to keep at a distance and those he has opened up to. And sometimes it puts the question of how far he's willing to trust his own friends. Sure, his straight face, whenever there's something in his mind, is nothing short of impressive. For people he never bothered to let in, it's typical. No one will care, and that's exactly how he prefers it. He never did quite like the kind who meddles. But those who know him well, those he has allowed to get close, are bound to catch on, bound to grow concerned, regardless of the things he wants to keep to himself. Especially with that look on his face earlier.
What's with him? I was just pulling his leg.
I'm sure it's just as he says. He would have said something by now if there's anything we should be concerned about. You know how he operates.
All empty reassurances. I don't believe the words myself. In the first place, there shouldn't have been a need to make those excuses for him. But it's obvious there's something that needs to be addressed as soon as I get the chance, and it can't be in the presence of other people, including Zachary.
Oh, all 13 of my locks know exactly how.
And don't hold it against him.
Easy for you to say. He never does that to you guys.
He knows his boundaries. And Belle would have probably hit him with that metal rolling pin she keeps, if he so much as thinks about it.
Actually, I'm almost surprised she hasn't done so yet.
A short pause, then, like a switch that has been turned off, Zachary's jovial mood dies down. It doesn't take long for him to find his voice again, though the hesitance in it is apparent.
Rebecca? About Bella earlier. Could you...
Don't worry about her. Just enjoy your own movie for now. I'll check on her when I get home. Maybe I could even get the real story out of her.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks. Man, I was really hoping to watch this with all of you.
We'll get another chance. It's not like we won't be seeing each other soon. We're living in the same city, for heaven's sake.
Touché. Anyway, you should head in too. Who knows what trouble Ash has gotten in there without us. Somebody should keep him in line.
He's a grown man. He can take care of himself for a few minutes. What about you?
Getting us some snacks. My treat, yeah? We've still got a few minutes to spare before they start. I'll catch up with you both soon.
All right, but don't take too long. Just bottled water for me, if you're planning to get some drinks too.
Right, gotcha.
He gives my shoulder a light tap, then hurries over the snack bar. Briefly, I allow my gaze to linger past it, towards the far end of the street, in the same direction Isabella took off earlier. Searching, hoping, expecting she'll simply be standing among the passing crowd, that everything's just a bluff. Perhaps there'll also be an apology ready at the tip of her tongue, and a promise to be more responsible with her actions next time. But much as I will it, there's no sign of her. After that little spat, it'll be foolish to even wait at this point. So, with a sigh, I finally step inside. It's not the excited chatter that stops me once I'm in the small auditorium. Rather, it's the sheer lack of one. The hall's not completely empty, no. From where I'm standing, I can still spot a couple of heads dotting the seats, some nodding, mostly engaged in cheerful conversation before the film starts. But the absence of a bigger audience and what few murmurs floating in the air only made the room seem a lot larger than it actually is.
Surely this can't be all there is from that crowd outside.
They had to close a whole street for this, didn't they? In any case, this is still just the first showing. For sure, it'll have a bigger turnout in the next one. However, despite these reassurances, a pang of worry still hits me as I stride down the aisle, passing by rows after rows of empty seats in search of Ash. I don't even want to think how Zachary would feel after all the effort he put into this. Though if there's still any comfort to find here, it's that there will be less chances of loud interruptions, particularly from theatergoers lacking manners. And the fact I'll be spending the evening with a friend, and Ashton, a familiar warmth, one I've harbored longer than anything, immediately unfurls at my stomach, in spite of myself, in spite of the reasons I've convinced myself of for being here. Naturally, those are not lies. They never are. I'm here to give what little morale boost I can lend as a friend. But I won't deny Ashton has been a part of it too. Sometimes you simply can't say no, and once you realize logic's no longer at play, striking a fair balance with reason becomes harder, trickier. It's not like I can simply ask myself to stop or forget for a moment, can I? It doesn't work that way. Not after I've gone and loved the same person for 17 years. If only he'd look this way for once, even for a short, fleeting second, then maybe...
Okay, listen. I personally know the guy. He might be able to help. I can easily get in touch with him if you want, so...
I thought we all agreed there'd be no what calls tonight. Pay up, Ash. That pizza fund box needs some cash.
All he gives for an answer is a glance and a small smile, yet it still sends the heat swirling in my stomach rising up my cheeks. A feeling I instantly pull the reins in on as I take the empty seat next to him. Traitorous little thing, that smile. I don't think he's ever been aware of what it does to any woman who happened to catch sight of it. He wouldn't have thrown it out so casually otherwise. Then again, it's also one of the very few things he allows only for the people close to him to see.
Sorry, just a sec, Becca. Hey, I gotta go? If you get this message, just let me know, okay? I'll free up my schedule if you want to check with him. No fees attached. I promise. Bye.
Fees? You're not doing anything illegal, are you?
You know me better than that.
Inspector Abigail?
Yeah. No! I am not losing that bet. Don't count on it.
Oh, come on, Ash. It's not like it's going to put a dent in your paycheck. Which one is it? Officer Carl? Officer Benjamin? The chief?
None of the above. And Chief hates it when I call him. Give it up.
Ash stops for a moment when I hold a hand up at him. The expression on my face, expecting, although a smile threatens to break through at the baffled look spreading on his own. He resembles a lost child like this. Sometimes I forget we're the same age.
What?
Mobile.
And why?
Evidence, what else? You always preach they don't lie. Put your money where your mouth is. Show.
He blinks once, then sighs. Rather loudly at that, with every intention to let the whole auditorium know how tedious he finds this little back and forth is. Just the same, he raises the gadget up to my face, but before I can even read past a single letter, he swiftly slides it out of view and straight into his pocket.
It's not work. I swear by my badge.
Oh, just admit you didn't want to pay. You're a worse cheapskate than Belle.
Becca, look at me. Tell me, does this face seem like it's lying to you?
Maybe. Here's an idea then. Why don't you find a mirror and answer that yourself?
Pass. I've seen it plenty. It still looks the same. Honestly, it's getting boring.
All right, suit yourself. Just remember, I'm not the one who got caught breaking a deal we all made.
Really, Rebecca, it's not what you're thinking. A friend just needed help with the problem. It's nothing big enough that I'll run off on you two. Don't worry.
I'm pretty sure he was calling Isabella and being like, you can meet up with the professor, because that's what he was gonna say when, like, That's what he said when they went into the theater all together with Isabella. Like, she had to choose between Zach or Ashtons, like, either go with the priest or go with the professor. And he was pretty much saying the same thing, but... And when we're in Isabella's chapter earlier, she said that she had a voicemail from Ash, so... It's a sign. Time to end this little banter. As fun as this chat has been, some lines he simply doesn't allow me to cross, regardless of the years we spent growing up together, especially with the sort of work he does. Of course, that doesn't mean I haven't tried. I still do, from time to time, hoping he'll at least share something more substantial than his routine vague answers. Occasionally he'll talk about it, if we ask, but never in full detail and only stuff we need to know. In case we need to look for his dead body, he joked one time. He doesn't repeat it after a stern look from me, but it doesn't make the whole situation any less frustrating.
Where's the big guy, by the way? He can't be missing from his own premiere.
Food. Is there something you want? I could...
Nah, it's good. He'll know what to get. Frankly, I'm more worried about him. Do you think Zach's gonna be okay with this?
I don't need to follow where he directs his eyes next to know what he's talking about. I've seen it with my own, felt the exact same doubt.
I honestly don't know. I only have a small idea of how these things work. But he put a lot of effort into this. Someone will certainly notice.
He did put a chunk of his savings on it. He was hoping to start a small studio when it takes off. If it takes off.
You doubt him?
No, just concerned, I guess. As far as I know, the whole fund was initially for the studio. Space, equipment, that kind of stuff. I have no idea what suddenly came over him. He already had enough to start one on his own. Why would he use it for something else?
I'm sure it'll be fine. Zachary knows what he's doing. He had me check the scripts and the research he did before he went through with this. His personal experience with the topic also counts. I think he's onto something here.
He merely lets out another hum, only I can't